deadly mobile attack. This is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like this. We have the European economy faltering, and ChatGPT is now a person. Well, it's kind of clickbait, but this is the foundation. We got current events today, September 17th, 2024. I am Sot L, seeker of truth L, speaker of truth L. It's good to be back. Shout out to everyone who hit me up. I'm great. Got some things going on, but I had to get back into these current events because it is it's some crazy business. Let's just jump into this as we always do. Got a new mic, so sorry if the levels are a little off, man. Just adjust your headphones, adjust your speakers. We're gonna get this mic dialed in. But let's do a dance. Make sure you check out welcome to thefoundation.com. Sign up for the email list. Exclusive offers, events, things of that nature. I mean, we have a giveaway coming up. Honestly, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to say what it is. I'm not going to say what it is. But we have a giveaway coming up. And, if you would like to know about that giveaway, sign up for the email list. It's right here on the page, blah, blah. You see it. It's a smooth dance. It's one of them danceries. You know what I mean? Look, we also have the foundation trustee training education. It's the most comprehensive trustee training out there, period. It's hard to believe. You can't believe it. I don't believe it, but it's there with regards to not only administering trust, keeping that arm's length, as well as no commingling, but we're going to know how to enable succession. We're going to learn how to create trusts themselves. And, for those of you who pay attention in your studies, you're going to learn some legal tax avoidance. So, there's a link in the description of this video to get signed up for trustee training. Excuse me. And we'll just leave it at that. We have how to start your business. Hold on. I'm sorry. Still trying to figure this stuff up. How to start your business. If you've ever wanted to start your own business, you didn't feel like you could, you didn't know how, you didn't feel as though you had the proper training, proper mind state, this is the course for you. It's at your own pace. You do it in your own time, forever, always accessible to you. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to be revoked, anything of that nature. But, this is how you do it, from, starting the business to getting it structured properly, obtaining the EIN, opening bank accounts, getting credit, a lot of things, business plan, you name it. It's in this course. So I invite you to check this course out. Link in the description. Last but not least, we have the Foundation magazine. We're getting a good response from this. I think we're coming up on a year. I was looking at all the editions that I have, the physical editions that I have. And I mean, I just love it. I love a print magazine, the good ones. We don't have ads in there. It's not falling out with regards to different colognes and things of that nature. It's just, good, solid information, stuff we don't touch on here on the show. And, link in the description. We have a print edition. We have a digital edition. Completely up to you. You can do both. That'd be a luxurious dance. But let's jump in these current events. Look, pagers explode across Lebanon. An attack targeting these Hezbollah members. Look, pagers. Now, some people would say pagers are pretty archaic technology. I would agree, but you don't know what the infrastructure is in Lebanon. There could be cultural things. Pagers. Maybe those things are cool. Maybe you got prepaid phones and you switch numbers a lot due to the fact that the contract phones, the postpaid phones, are so expensive. Who knows, man? All I know is at least 9 people were killed and 2,800 wounded in an attack, that targeted pagers held by members of the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah across Lebanon. And this was today. This is according to the health minister. The group said it holds Israel responsible for the deadly explosions amid already increased tensions in the region. This, to me, this is some absolutely unprecedented. Wow, this, and this is really gets into, the capabilities that we are unaware of with regards to these mobile devices. If they can do it to a pager, they can do it to a cell phone. I understand that there were reports that these things were, previously bought. They were bought recently, so maybe it was a part of, some internal things. Maybe I shouldn't be playing this. Maybe we'll get a strike. I don't know. But I think, beyond the headlines of, oh, this is, political, this is religious, whatever. Beyond that, I want to point out that we all carry a mobile device in our pocket. A mobile device, all of us. And I've seen, I think it was a Samsung Galaxy. They wouldn't even let people on the plane with those things. They were actually exploding in people's pockets. Now, if there's actually a technology that exists to make something like that, to produce an explosion from a mobile device, whether it's through carrier signals and they're corrupting the firmware, it doesn't matter to me. Especially with these lithium ion batteries, those things can go really bad very quickly. So this right here, regardless of where you stand, you're likely standing there with a mobile phone in your pocket. And I think this to me is the most significant perspective, in my opinion. That got everyone standing around there has phones and mobile devices and different things in their pockets. So I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not attempting to be one of those doom and gloom cats. I'm really not one of those dudes. But I mean, this is alarming, period. It is. The Fed's biggest interest rate call in years happens tomorrow. Here's what to expect. Bottom line, the overall expectation is that they're going to drop the interest rates. In my opinion, they have to. It's beyond the point where they can continue saying that the job markets are strong and the economy's doing great. And that's not the case, really, for most people. Maybe it is for, certain sectors of, classes of people. But for most people, it's not. Bottom line, between 25 to 50 basis points, which is, a quarter to 0.5%. Beyond the quarter versus half debate, this will be an action-packed Fed meeting with updates on projections for rate cuts in the future, as well as adjustments to economic estimates. So this is something we're paying attention to. I believe the markets have already priced in cuts. I believe the market has already priced in the 50-point basis cut. We'll see what happens. It rallied up, and then, we'll see what happens tomorrow. If I will close your positions, if you're trading, if you know what you're doing better than I do, you do your dance. I'm just saying what I would do. I'm not giving any trading advice, legal advice, technical advice, parenting advice, none of that stuff. Driving advice. Europe cuts interest rates again as economic recovery falters. And this is not exclusive to the United States. This is not only happening in US and Canada. This is happening in all Western countries. The European Central Bank cut interest rates lowering borrowing costs for the second time in recent months as inflation slows and Europe's economy stumbles. The widely anticipated decision, which was unanimously agreed, 26 rate setters takes the benchmark, rate in the 20 countries that use the euro to 3.5% from 3.75% previously. The ECB cut rates for the first time in 5 years in June, but kept them unchanged. At its last meeting in July, inflation has since fallen further, dropping to 2.2% in August, its lowest level in 3 years and close to the central bank's 2% target. Wage growth, keenly watched by ECB officials, also eased in the second quarter, which means inflation, to battle inflation, you must battle the consumers. You got to get them to stop purchasing stuff, because when the demand for goods and services drops, so does the price of goods and services. To me, it's basic economics. They teach you this stuff in schools. Not anymore. I'm just playing. I'm not even serious. Frustrated millennials across the U.S. struggle to afford homes. Quote, "It's just not a level playing field." End quote. That's not a quote, but we'll keep it moving. Kelsey Lesko and Tim Khalil. My fault. I'm dyslexic. Remember the moment when they gave up on buying their first home? It was June 2023, when U.S. home buyers were scrambling to beat out rising mortgage rates and snatch up what they could from a limited number of units on the market. Amid soaring house prices, many buyers made all-cash offers. Lesko and Khalil, a New Jersey couple, had lost out on about 15 bids on properties in Monmouth County. At that point, quote, "We were just getting blown out of the water." End quote. This is Lesko, 28, who works in marketing. They had stretched their original budget from $300,000 to $380,000 and had been offering tens of thousands over list price to keep up with other bids. Their last offer was a, quote, "beautiful," end quote, 2-bedroom house with lots of space and a backyard, which they sensed, quote, "was going to be the one," end quote, says Khalil, a police officer in nearby North Brunswick. They offered $380,000 on the $315,000 residents and shook the hand of the seller, who said it was between them and another offer. When their offer was rejected, quote, "It was like a slap in the face, telling us, wake up, this is just not for you," end quote. And this is a lot of people. There's a lot of people. I know most news organizations, they focus on millennials. It's not just millennials, just so you guys know. It's not. It's a lot of yos. It's a lot of yos. India's trade deficit widens in August on spike in gold imports. This is Reuters.com. India's merchandise trade deficit in August widened to a 10-month high of $29.65 billion after gold imports surged while exports fell, dragged down by climbing shipping costs and sluggish global demand. Countries are buying gold like there's no tomorrow, like gold is being stolen off of the planet. That is the way countries are buying gold, and it's not just India. I think this is significant due to the fact that it has pulled down or increased their trade deficit, and it's blatant. It's blatantly obvious. A few years ago, you couldn't, I was talking and saying, these countries are buying gold. You grab silver, grab gold, it's going to go crazy. A few years ago, they were hiding it. Now it's obvious. There's no hiding it. Something's coming. Amazon is using generative AI to drive more same-day shipping using smarter robots and better routes. Doesn't sound like they're hiring people. Amazon has set the bar for years for package delivery. When Prime launched in 2005, 2-day shipping was unheard of. By 2019, 1-day shipping was standard for millions of items. Now the retail giant is turning to generative AI to drive more same-day shipping. Amazon is using the technology to optimize delivery routes make more intelligent warehouse robots, create more ergonomic environments for employees, and better predict where to stock new items. This is Steve Armato, Amazon's Vice President of Transportation Technology and Services. I want you guys to see this tech push. It's obvious as well, just like the sovereign countries' gold buying habits. That's obvious. This thing with the artificial intelligence push, the animatronic, driverless, all this stuff is not, I would say that it's not necessarily good for us. Case in point, CNBC, Uber, and Waymo to offer driverless ride hailing trips in Austin and Atlanta. What does that do for Lyft drivers? Those Uber drivers. People are using these ride, service platforms to make ends meet, to pay their bills. Interest rates are high. Credit card payments are crazy through the roof. Because they increased the interest rates on credit cards. So all the payments, anyone was carrying a balance, that stuff increased. So a lot of people, they went out, they went out and they obtained some sort of app, and there's delivery services that you can drop off people's, groceries. You can pick them up and drop them off. There's all types of, listen, this is direct competition with humans, man. Uber announced Friday it is expanding its partnership with Alphabet's Waymo to offer robo-taxi rides in Austin, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia, beginning in early 2025. Shares of Uber jumped 5% on the news, while Alphabet rose about 1%. Uber rides in those cities can be matched with a driverless Waymo car for some trips, according to the companies. The rides will only be available through Uber's app. So this is Uber telling actual human drivers what they're going to do. Let's pay attention to what's going on. The rides will only be available through Uber's app, unlike in San Francisco and Los Angeles, where riders book through the Waymo app. A Waymo spokesperson said it had no plans to partner with Uber in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Why? They're getting all the money already. Why would you? Why would you? I wouldn't. The expansion comes as Uber faces investor pressure to step up its autonomous vehicle strategy, especially ahead of Tesla's planned robo-taxi event slated for October 10th. Shares of Uber have fallen 9% since the Tesla event was announced, and are off 17% from their 52-week highs. So Tesla's coming for, driver apps as well. So, Uber, Lyft, here we go. Here we go. Whoops, don't need that one. Let's do this one. ChatGPT maker says its new AI model can reason and think much like a person. Much like a person. This is getting serious. Excuse me. OpenAI has unveiled a new artificial intelligence model that it says can reason and solve harder problems in science, coding, and math than its predecessors. The model, the first in a series called OpenAI O1, was released last week as a preview, with the firm saying it expects regular updates and improvements. It will gradually become available to most GPT users. Quote, "We train these models to spend more time thinking through problems before they respond, much like a person would. Through training, they learn to refine their thinking process, try different strategies, and recognize their mistakes." As examples of the new model's power, OpenAI noted that they can be used by healthcare researchers to annotate cell sequencing data, and by physicists to generate, quote, complicated mathematical formulas needed for quantum optics, end quote. The potential of the new AI models was also highlighted by Noam Brown, a research scientist at the company. Quote, "OpenAI's O1 thinks for seconds, but we aim for future versions to think for hours, days, even weeks. Inference costs will be higher." End quote. He posted on X Thursday referring to the costs, such as higher energy bills, of using AI to make inferences from inputs. Quote, but what cost would you pay for a new cancer drug, for breakthrough batteries? End quote, he added. So not only are they taking jobs from people now, they're going to be taking jobs from people in the future. Instead of a team of scientists, researchers, engineers producing a breakthrough technology, it may be the technology that's producing the breakthrough technologies. And Musk's Neuralink gets FDA's breakthrough device tag for blind sight implant. So it's a breakthrough device, y'all. I think he's had like three people have had that implanted so far. Elon Musk's brain chip startup Neuralink said on Tuesday its implant aimed at restoring vision received the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's breakthrough device designation. The FDA's breakthrough tag is given to certain medical devices that provide treatment or diagnosis of life-threatening conditions. It is aimed at speeding up development and review of experimental devices. The experimental device known as blind sight, quote, will enable even those who have lost both eyes and their optic nerve to see, end quote, Musk said in a post on X. Neuralink is separately testing an implant designed to give paralyzed patients the ability to use digital devices by thinking alone, a prospect that could help people with spinal cord injuries. So it's multiple devices. Blind sight, they want to give sight to the blind, and allow paralyzed people to interact with computers and computing devices. I think that's amazing, and I would say terrifying at the same time. But I just say pay attention. I think the biggest current event of the day would be definitely, absolutely, the devices being turned into explosives, man. It's breathtakingly crazy to read about that in multiple sources. You know, when I started the day today, I wasn't even planning really to jump back on current events yet. I was just going to do the show tomorrow, but here we are. So y'all pay attention. Pay attention. Start a business. Because the artificial intelligence and the robots are taking the jobs. You hear what I'm saying? They're taking the jobs. So start a business. But with that being said, y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you are thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night. It's very important. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow on the show, the actual show. Peace, y'all.